All right, welcome to Raising Funds for World Domination, Day 55. So once again, here's the standard intro. There's no substantial updates on this today. So we will continue on with work on the terminal block mining simulation game. Christopher says, good evening, doing good on the streak. Yeah, we got 55 days so far. I'm hoping to finish up. I think it was probably at least around 5 days ago I said that maybe five more days would be the optimistic goal of getting the next release out for this, and I'm still not there, but I am making progress. So the thing that I've been concentrating on recently is, or last few days at least, is this 3D circular buffer. So basically my goal is I want a data structure. So like basically as I move around, well, the 2D case, you can just imagine like moving around at the map. As I move around the map, I want to keep as many things as possible in the same place, and basically just update a pointer. And it's only on resizing the buffer. So when I resize the window, that's the only case where I technically need to move all those elements around, so that doesn't happen often. But so as you're moving around, ideally what you want to just increment a number in a circular buffer and then only load one row instead of translating every single thing. So that's the point of what I'm doing right now. Now for the 2D case, that's simple. I'm working on making this work generally in 3D. So today I generalized it from, today I got the 1D version working, and then I made that also work in the 2D case. I'm probably going to write some more test cases for that just to make sure it's actually correct, because it's going to be a huge pain if I try to go and use this and it's got subtle bugs in it. Galactic Past says, hello Robert, how's it going? Progress is good, one bug at a time. Yeah, hopefully this will also so just be a better implementation that'll also fix a bunch of bugs. Without optimization, actually moving around in the map, it was pretty painful. So I had to add optimization to make it like bearable. But of course, that optimization made it more complicated, which made for bugs. So I have this working as a fairly general thing. So I have these so I have this data structure called a cuboid address, which is basically just a way of specifying a square or cubic region of space, with an arbitrary number of dimensions. Password. Oh yeah, the password you mentioned. Password being gone wasn't a big deal. Had a hard time being productive today. Still sitting at the work computer, hoping to get more done. Yeah, I've had a few times when have like a big oopsie at like accidentally push something to production that shouldn't be, or mess something up, or it throws you off for a little bit. Yeah, the first I think I talked about this on stream once before. At one of my first co-ops, they wanted me to do this like migration stuff of all the code base, and as part of it, I had to check out everything because I had to do an operation on the entire code base to migrate it to actually get the code, and then I did a right click and did like an undo checkout, but apparently that undid other people's checkout, so it was kind of a screw up to figure out. Going great. Trying to implement text rendering, but running into some issues with integration. Text rendering. I guess depending on how much you do that from scratch, that can get pretty complicated. There's a ton of complicated, like what is it, Bezier curves or something like that, if you want to do like scalable vector graphics and stuff for rendering fonts. Bezier curves. Do I pronounce that right? Recalculating splines and chi. Yeah, I've never actually used them before, but I know of their existence. So let's Bezier, and close enough. Have to load a TIFF file, generate atlas with ASCII, and then generate a PNG. Load it, send it to the GPU. Then I have to generate quads for each letter. Yeah, that sounds. I would believe all that. I think I said before that it'd be quite a bit of work to do that from scratch, but definitely educational if you have the time for it. kerning. Oh yeah, it's another. There's a ton of work that goes into actually printing text. Not loading TIFF file from scratch. I use STB TrueType, so it's way easier. If I wrote a text renderer, I wouldn't allow serifs. Is Consolis monospaced? That's important. If you're gonna have one font, it's got to be monospaced. It is monospaced. Excellent. someone tell me what he is making or doing? I am currently working on some test cases for a terminal-based video game where you simulate the process of mining blocks of iron ore and metals and various things. So we're currently working on implementing a 3D circular buffer data structure that I can use for moving around the world. Cool, I subbed. Excellent. D55. Robert is here. Yep, we'll be here until I'm done. All right, let's see if that compiles. I got charged $84 for toll in Canada. Y'all charge too much and per kilometer. You know, I haven't actually owned a car since high school. It's yeah, everything is expensive here. Parking in this building, they're charging $250 a month for parking in the underground parking where people got cars broken into. And then yeah, everything's expensive. Insurance is crazy expensive. And living is expensive. You have to have a semi to get a single toll like that in the US. I guess, are you on a tourist trip up here? Toll is illegal in your state? From Michigan, visited Toronto. How is it going across the border? I keep ever since the Canadian media decided to get angry at Trump's tariffs. I see all these news articles come up about how terrible it is going across the border. In my view, it's always been difficult going across the border, but I'm curious if they harass you anymore or look at your stuff. I assume it's probably the same as it always is. Not bad. There's a moment coming back in US, but it was also smooth. ICE is looking for you. Killer Queen bites the dust. Neat. I'm not sure what to make of that statement. What is this? This is the output from unit test cases for unit tests that I'm running on a data structure that I'm trying to write. Yeah, it's going to be a three-dimensional circular buffer. Yes, it is for a terminal-based video game where you simulate the process of mining blocks. Killer Queen. I guess I have no idea what that reference means. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. The Queen is basically Yoshi conquers Kira's power. Okay. How much would it cost to buy our way into elements in the block binding simulation? I want Samsonite, like the Lux brand. Is that a... well, I'll come back. I'll read some of the other chats and come back to that. So clue what I'm watching, but I'm interested now. Excellent. The YouTube algorithm is doing its job. More accurately, it is name Araki really likes Western music, so there's lots of musical references. Interesting. And there's so much stuff that I could, so many movies and shows and stuff that I'd watch it. I have no time to. Reporting for Domination. Duty, sir. Excellent. What is he doing? Yeah, Minecraft 5.0. Raising funds for world domination. Yep. Sam flexing his #1 fan badge. It gives that #1 to people randomly. The compile is getting pretty flashy. Yeah, this is it's just the test case output. So I got a comment saying I should add a audio file of a shotgun being railed to my home automation project. Yeah, you can. Although technically, you can, if a robber trips over something, they can sue you. Someone stole my #3 badge. Yep. Now it's gone to First Coast, Dirty South Rail fan. It's busting into U.S. DoD to dominate the world. No, I wouldn't do that. That would violate some law. Install a Gen 2? Not right now. Get there someday. Maybe 100. Yeah, I'm halfway there. I just joined. What are you programming? I am, excuse me. I'm working on some test cases for a terminal-based video game where you simulate the process of mining blocks. And right now, just to making sure I have really good test coverage for this data structure, it's going to be a 3D circular buffer. Actually, I can probably just run the game. Day 1 asking for crypto. No, I'm not into crypto. Day 1 of saying injustice isn't getting crypto. Oh, injustice the user. I found a bar with $4.50 USD burgers. That's pretty good. That's almost too cheap. That's why I got cameras to cover my butt. They can sue, but they most likely won't win. Yeah, if you, when it comes to liability, if you can, there's a case, there is some case law around, like, it's illegal to have, like, what is it? It's a special name for it. It's like disproportionate disproportionate response or something. And there was a case law where someone, like, did actually put a firearm in an abandoned house or somewhere, and then someone came in and, like, got severely hurt by it, and then that went to court, and they're like, this is a disproportionate response for. There's a specific legal term for it. I can't remember what it is. I went to a bar where food was like $12 for a cheeseburger. Even so, if you go to the right rip-off place, you can pay quite a bit. Yo, this looks fire. Yes. So this is my terminal-based game that I've been working on for quite a while. So the thing I'm working on, so right now, this here is just like it's an array of blocks, and right now I'm working on a data structure to hold this in memory a bit more. So right now, as I'm moving, it translates every single cell down by one, which is not efficient. So I'm making this into a circular buffer, but I'm also making it 3D, so that way, as I move, so you can actually go up. So if I go space, it'll go up. Actually, you know, there's a bug. It's supposed to have some question marks there, but that's something to fix. But yeah, so one of the things, main features I want to implement is there's another layer here. So I want to show something. I want to show the terrain below, or show some representation of it. And to facilitate that, I need to add some stuff. And so the things I've been working on recently are so you can like change the size, so it automatically can be resized. And there's also help menu, so you can move around like that, and it works with resizing and everything. Half-pound burgers. I was talking about an audio file. Yeah, if you, I think you'd be much, much safer with that. I don't think you would. I think for just playing like an audio sound, probably there would probably be no criminal issue with that. Like people can always bring a civil issue on anything, even if they're not justified. So they can maybe say like, it's it caused undue panic or something like that. It was an inappropriate response or something. But it'd probably be difficult for them to argue that if they were snooping around in your place. Is this game playable on Windows? Probably not. It works pretty generically. I wrote it to be fairly generic, so it probably wouldn't be too difficult to get it working in there. He's translating all divisible blocks. Really that bad? Only looks like a couple thousand. It's not bad, but I find the responsiveness of the UI is like right now it's actually quite good. If you open it up on like a really, really huge monitor, so like if you want to see more map area, you can just make it smaller. And so I think it might as well just make it more performant, because like right now it's starting to lag a bit. If you want to open it up on a bigger area. And the other thing is right now it's only doing one layer, and I want to add a second layer. So that'll make it more slow, but with the new data structure, it should be better. Let's close that 1.11.99 billion gap. Yep, only a few more dollars to go. It'll be like a bluff with an audio file. Yeah, I think that's probably, in the grand scheme of things, not a big deal. Any planned trips this summer? Nope. If they tripped and fell, it'd be great, funny for a YouTube video. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of content like that on YouTube. given the grand scheme of the crazy videos you see on YouTube and Twitter and stuff these days. Someone freaking out over sounds is not. In fact, there's probably tons of. I think there actually are a few. I mean, that's basically what his face Mark Rover did with that fart spray package thing. See, didn't realize it could be that much larger. Yep. And I guess if I had a bigger monitor, well, let's. Oh wow, that's really small. Oh, look at that. So that crashed. Oh, I can't see the exception, but it's gone. But yeah, that was too much. I guess I could probably increase the number of messages in the queue. Just put a car with 3 wheels on the side of your house. On the side of my house? Can you spill any recent drama? No recent drama. She had a multiplayer. That's on the to-do list. The Russian chatbot? How do you guys know? Ugala? Hungry? But lots of nonsense in the chat. Nice. We got our first. Actually, that's the first super chat in the last few days. I mentioned to some of my dedicated super chatters that for as an experiment to not super chat for a few days to see if that makes my my ad revenue and my general video views go up, and it did actually. So I think this is like throughout this 55 days. I think this is the first time I've had at least zero. I've had at least 3 consecutive days with 0 super chats, and my views are up, are like probably like record high. They're starting to trend back up quite a bit, and I think probably the revenue for ad revenue for yesterday's will be higher. Congrats to First Coast Dirty South Rail fan for becoming a member. Thank you very much. You should root for me. Okay, sure. Yoshi, why you green? Yeah, people who are channel members get a different color text, and also that the thing there, like so by Yoshi, it says $1 $1 that was just the graphic I made for it. So he's been a channel member for 1 month, and if you're a channel member for 2 months, it'll say 2M. Oh, I didn't read your message. I'm on food stamps. Oh, if you're on food stamps, you should save your money. Oh man, chat is I'm having trouble keeping up with it. What if you're the experiment? I'm not sure. Down with Luigi. Yeah, I don't know. Luigi likes to chat emojis a lot. We also have an unofficial Discord server. I think Robert forgot to update the video description. Yeah, it's on my to. I forgot to. I'll get there eventually. If you have the ID, you can reference it. I'll probably do like I said and just have like a broken link to it, and then just verbally tell people how to fix the link. How do you obtain the game license and wallpapers? Actually, you know what I said? I said I'd give out wallpapers, and I have not given out I have not done wallpapers, so technically I rip people off that way. But for a license for the game, so you have it now. So you've given me some money. So you give me at least $1, so you now have a license. And thank you very much for the $10 to I think that's Orthodox NPC. You're not on food stamps? Oh, that's good. Excellent. Down with Luigi. How come nobody likes Luigi? Everyone's ganging up on him. Luigi's a bot. How do you tell Luigi's a bot? I'm having trouble making sense of the chat. There's lots of emojis, lots of reactions. Vengeance will be mine. Why do you need vengeance? Give it time. They want my trophy. Luigi got that bot energy. I guess the question would be what is the goal of Luigi the bot if it's a bot? No what? The crowns mean nothing. Yeah, they're kind of random. Don't hurt the robot. Leave the robot alone. Well, have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. The crowns will never fall. They only move heads. I installed the game off GitHub. I have zero clue how to run this. So you can, actually this is an older version, you can run the jar. It's quite the current release is a much older jar, but you can just, if you actually read the README file, there's some instructions there on how to just download the jar. So instead of compiling it, but if you want to compile it, I think there is fairly adequate instructions there on how to compile the latest version. But to say Robert should keep quiet with the results of the experiment, lest he discourage super chats. And realize the results also mean fewer super chats isn't bad. Yeah, I think, but in my opinion, the experiment has already proved just what I've seen so far. But I also think like I think it's like a long-term. I think it's basically like a moving average. So like if people don't super chat, then YouTube will conclude that it's bad content. Orthodox NPC wants my crown. Oh yeah, I forgot that new feature. Probably botting views so the channel falls. That would be an interesting objective. Been waiting for this guy to come online. He'd be the perfect dude to ask. To the moon. I'm going to review how I became dangerous. Yeah, that video took quite a bit of work. Got a method to tell if someone is a bot? What isn't? Yeah, the default README on GitHub is pretty good, I think. I ain't no bot. That's good. We're all just wetware computers. You is a bot. I'm not a bot. Robert, I believe I've created something resembling AGI. I mean, it's able to rewrite itself to anything on a PC in a human-like manner. What should I do with it? That's a good question. I guess if you have something like that, then it probably means the government already has something like that. Use it to make a bunch of money. Actually, use it to make $1 million and then super chat me a bunch of it. This is too nerdy for me. Not gonna bother. Yeah, if you there's like if you don't care about the security, like you don't have to verify the jar. You can just like download the jar and then just type java-jar and then write the jar name and it should run. I think the latest jar though is quite old, so it looks different than I haven't before I updated the colors and stuff. Non-technical foamer. Everyone's welcome here. If you download Intel Driver Installer on Windows, it asks you to let you collect telemetry on websites you visit. What is it? CPU, GPU driver need that information. Everything needs infinite information. Who here thinks Luigi is a bot? You've got over 100k views if you daily post. It doesn't matter the amount of views you get. You can make a good monthly revenue on YouTube. Yeah, it's on my to-do list to post more. How though? What could I bot to do that? You can ask the AI. If it's general AI, then you should be able to tell it to do that. The crowns keep moving. Yeah, I'm just trying to I'm trying to catch up with the chat. Sam asked a question and I'm trying to get through the chat to respond to it, but I can't keep up. My Discord with a vulgar message. My Discord. I'll even make it. Section called vulgar not a bot. It's based on the most active and whoever donates. Oh yeah, it's to encourage people to send money, I guess. No one gains more XP. If you have a live stream and rejoin, you'll be number 1 once you get 75 XP. Luigi's an Italian plumber. That's a true statement. I'm going to do some dirty deeds to get more super chat money. Just make sure you comply with all laws. Can you do a poll to ban Luigi? I don't know. Luigi hasn't done anything bad. I don't think anyone here wants Luigi. Orthodox is actually smart. I know a Canadian YouTuber who makes a good monthly cash flow on YT. Only has 9K subs. Yeah, once I get caught up on various things, I plan to put out more content. It's just I want to finish releasing the next version of this game, and then I'm going to well, I need to work on taxes first, but I have no shortage of ideas, just not enough time to execute on them. Dirty deeds, like Plastico strings instead of global array. Luigi is a megabot. I don't, honestly, I don't really know why everyone is arguing about Luigi so much. That's almost yeah, there's almost a lot of like, it's almost like everyone is spamming the chat tonight. I think you poop out a video in a day. Robert, you clearly think through each video. Yeah, I need to not think them through as much. Which I don't think are a bot. You can feel free to type the most vulgar thing. Don't type vulgar things, then I'm gonna ban you. If you ever actually conquered the world, remember I was here. Sure, I'll make sure to remember the name. Chat is quite hyped today, thanks to @Luigi. Is it all due to Luigi? It seems like everyone is super animated tonight. Your Discord? Oh, okay. Okay, I caught up in chat. So Sam asked about having a dedicated block in the game. I can probably maybe we can actually, if you want, Sam, you can send me a message on Discord, and then we'll figure out something. You've been a dedicated super chatter, so historically I was doing Kickstarter things where for $20 you could get a dedicated block type, but you've already done more super chats than that. So for anyone who's been a regular super chatter, I don't mind. I can just give you an honorary block type. The catch though is it has to be a real mineral with a CAS number. So if you search for chemical CAS numbers, need Luigi in our Discord server, so the server also becomes hype. What if he is a bot though? Can you share your Kickstarter link? I had been doing Kickstarters before, but I've decided recently it makes more sense to just live stream, and then like the process of processing and going through the pledges and stuff and the feedback loop. It takes a lot of work to actually make a decent Kickstarter campaign, and the ease with which, like, to pledge on Kickstarter, you need an account, but to give a super chat on YouTube, you just like click the button and put in your details, and then it sends the super chat. So it almost I almost think I wouldn't do Kickstarters anymore. I would just do a live stream and sit there and be like, all right, give me our orders, everyone. Ain't no bot. That's good. Shoot, I would donate a big one-time donation, but I didn't do. Don't do subscription links. That's all right. I the last time I did a Kickstarter was like last year or something. But it's quite a bit of time investment to make the video and to set it up and launch it for the amount of money it makes. Too many emojis. Yes. Either way, sorry, I check in from time to time. You're awesome. Thank you for the kind words. Get rid of answers and problems, and to get rich and powerful. Thank you for the advice. Okay, let's do some coding now that chat is slowing down a little bit. Notice how everyone here other than Luigi hasn't used the default YouTube emojis. I have not noticed that. I don't even know what the default emojis are. Whoops, sorry. They're the weird looking ones like these. I never use those. Some intern worked very hard on them. It's probably true. Okay, that is pretty good for testing. Let's do more testing. Every day there is a Google intern beaten for emoji ideas. Probably. If I saw that git commit message in my repo, I'd be so mad. You're supposed to be more descriptive. I do like a separate merge after This is just like my Scratch. I just clone the repo fresh and just like do whatever to just so I can have a clean slate, and then I'll kind of merge it and squash it down, and often do a little bit more work after the stream. Nobody else is getting 125 XP. I have fallen, or number 2 now. All right, there's no crashes yet. YouTube telling me to super chat to keep the top spot. It's prompting you to super chat? Wow. It probably, like, it's probably learned your pattern and seen that you super chat often, so it's like, oh, we can get this guy to super chat. Luigi swapped up and is now using default Windows emojis. Why does that mean he's a bot? It just says that when I check the leaderboard? Huh. YouTube was really gamified super chat, and when someone donates, everyone else also jumps in. Yeah, it does seem to come in waves. I feel like the name Luigi has been elevated big time. Yeah, it definitely has a certain extra meaning now. It's not an emoji from a phone. I would assume it's not based on where it's sent from. It's probably like based on the platform has its own rendering. All right, it did not crash. Excellent. ITK, if it qualifies as a dark pattern, it's definitely quite effective. Yeah, that's why I said, like, if I do want to, like, aggressively, like, get some money or like raise some money for something, I would do it through a live stream. Speaking of complaining about your name, if I have a son, he's doomed to be Son of Sam. Blood in chat keeps calling me a bot. It's impossible to know these days. I mean, it could be that the people calling you a bot are bots. Most relevant thing Stoner said tonight. Yeah, he does say some things that are not relevant. Can I have $5? I don't have $5 at the moment, and if I did, I don't have a way to give it to you. Robert is my favorite programmer. So much to learn from him. Well, I hope I have something to teach. Okay, that worked. That took a bit too much time. Maybe I'll decrease that a bit. Okay, so it works. It works now with 2 dimensions. When it seems irrelevant, question your perception is not 4D. How to become a 37-year-old broke loser. If that's a question, I have a video on that. Make me a mod in chat so I can go ham on these fools. Nope. Could probably hear a pin drop on the ground 5 miles away. Honestly, there's a lot of irrelevant chat tonight. There's like lots of irrelevant people saying irrelevant things against each other. Bro, whenever you see code that repeats itself, you need to refactor. Get IntelliJ. I actually have IntelliJ. Helps hugely in performing refactoring. For these loops, you need them into one block. Sorry for being critical. Yeah, actually, that's one of the things I'm doing right now. So these, my strategy is like get the code to work. So the first thing I did is, like I had the first way I did this, I thought I actually needed a couple more like inner loops here, but that was not right. So then I just rewrote it this way. And then I get it to pass the test cases. And I don't really like refactoring before I have the test cases, because the test cases, I can kind of turn my brain off and just like see where the repetition is, and then mindlessly refactor it. And if it still passes, then it's good. Actually, I have IntelliJ. Let me. GPT, what's the square root of 114? Yeah, it is lively. I don't I'm not sure what I should do. There's nothing I see that should is ban worthy, but there's people accusing other people of bots. Sometimes I'm just like, wait a minute. It's like, is everyone in chat a bot? These are all just like irrelevant conversations. People arguing with each other about nonsense. I think the irrelevancy is high because we can't commit blocks. What does that mean? Down with Luigi. So you've said that a few times, but that doesn't really, it's kind of irrelevant. Just see lots of repetition. Yeah, this is, usually I'll start with like, I'll usually write it with repetition because it's usually like, it's simpler, like to just to write it the first time with the repetition to like work through it mentally, and then I can kind of like it's almost like a pivoting back and forth. Like I can make something that I know is correct, and then write a test case for it, and then when I go to refactor it, it's just like especially with that type of code to refactor it, it's very easy to introduce bugs. Or perhaps the people in here like me probably just don't know what's on the screen or just ear to hear. Robert Reed, stupid chats. Yeah, I guess that could be it. I mean, I guess the big, when people are, the bigger streamers, their chat is just like flying by. It's all like nonsense and emojis and stuff. So that's just the internet. It's intoxicating to watch like a torrent of nonsense from the internet. Some of it from bots, some of it from crazy people, some of it from really smart people, some of it people making really, really clever jokes. I'm head out, down with Luigi. Have a good night. It's not 12. It means the community contributing code blocks. I'm not about FYI. Yeah, I'd say of all the people here right now that I don't recognize, you're one of the least looking like a bot. Your chat looks like a real conversation, but that other there's another one. Someone saying yes. Ever thought about what free will actually is? Kind of. The universe for sure seems like it had uncertainty programmed in. Is it really uncertain? Or not? That is the big question. I guess that's Isaac Newton talked about the clockwork universe. But I think within the, like, when you go down to the quantum mechanics, we don't live in a clockwork universe. There's still some, you can go down to measure things down to the Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. So there's some inherent uncertainty in things. And I guess there could be some like greater force at work there that you can't really quantify. Still here, just waiting for chat to chill out. If it does, you should monetize the game somehow. I already do monetize it. Perhaps the algo understands distractions. Watch a crap ton of ads to mine. Then earn small amounts of money, so you can earn a profit while people play. Yeah, I mean, if people If I can get any traction with it, then maybe. But at this rate, I won't. I haven't made a lot of progress tonight. But earlier today, I was able to at least get the 2D aspect working. Robert now thinks I'm a bot. Yeah, I start to wonder. It's I guess some people it's easier to have a coherent question with or coherent conversation. But there's also like there's some people who are chatting and English is not their first language, so sometimes it's hard to like figure out like, is someone a bot? Are they crazy? Are they English is not their first language, or is it like a mixture of those two? How much of your neural network has uncertainty in it, and how much would you say is due to free will? It's a good question. And it's also, it's like it's a hard thing to answer because like the model of the world that's in your brain, like the life experiences that you had as soon as you were born, you did not choose to have those. The initial ones didn't anyway. And then every subsequent one is influenced based on your previous, like from, time equals 0. But you can also reflect on your internal model. So you can like try to go against it. So if you think like, you know what, I don't have free will, but I'm going to rebel from that fact. So whatever thing my natural tendency is, I'm going to do the opposite of that. So you can just like always try to do the opposite of whatever. You could like learn more about your brain and how it's controlled, and then just do the opposite of that. So it's and even if that's a certainty, you could still rebel against that. Like Atlas Earth, not familiar with that. Naming my kid XAE A-12. But then your kid won't be able to get a passport because it contains a strange Unicode character. They say God created everything. What if he didn't? What if time is just a sequence of existing? What if free will is just a consequence of intelligence? Not sure. I could ponder it, but then I won't get to the end of chat. I'd say LLMs have perfect English, so if someone makes a typo, then there's less chance they're a bot. I think I'm pretty sure you could go to ChatGPT right now and like ask it, say like make a realistic chat message that contains realistic typos, and it'll do it perfectly. Or like in the style of a typical Reddit user, write this thing and it'll. And I think it's impossible now. It would be epic if Rob made me a mod. I just went nuclear in chat. I don't know. I don't trust Luigi, and I don't trust anyone who doesn't trust Luigi. True, you found a huge hack in the free will debate. Yeah, but it's also it is still it's hard to answer though, because like there's a model, and like your decision to rebel, to be rebellious against your nature, that in itself that idea was not put into your mind by you. It came from your mind and your experiences. So it's, I don't know, you could philosophize about it forever. ITK, how LLMs have such good understanding of English, given the internet data will contain a lot of small grammatical errors and mistakes. I guess it's just a statistical thing, I guess. I mean, at some scale, grammatical errors They're just like another standard. Like in a way, who cares about if a word is misspelled or not? It's the opposite of what your internal program does. But then that could also be programmed into you to do that. Wow. So, first coast. First Coast Dirty South Railfan. You're chatting. You're kind of spamming the chat. Can you just do less frequent chats? I can't keep up. So God would know. The program would lead you to it. If you could say there is a God or a girl, we don't know. Gonna walk my dog. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. Luigi needs to become a member. Anyone's welcome to be a member. I would not call myself compatibilist, but determinism isn't a very useful framework for forming soft skills. People definitely have personality, and it shapes some kind of will. I'm hopping on RL. Peace. Thanks for stopping by and the membership. I guess maybe the chat is lively because everyone's competing for number one. Wait, I just came in. Oh yeah, I was trying to actually do some work. So someone mentioned IntelliJ. So we'll go ahead and open up the project in that. Needs to write his thoughts in a single message. Yeah. It's, I don't know, managing a chat is difficult. The chat was lively tonight, and I feel like I should moderate it or influence to be more positive. But I don't know. There's nothing. I didn't see anything really bannable tonight. Some like irrelevant stuff. Look forward to day 69. New film from a kiddie pool. I don't know what to make of that comment. Sam is king now. Congrats. So awesome. I'm the guy that mentioned IntelliJ, but notice the folders you had. Is there a reason you're doing that? Git keeps a history of everything. You just revert. So every day. So this is just like a throwaway computer. So I just make a new folder, and then I clone the latest repo every day, and then I just commit to that, and then so I have another on my main machine that I just copy over the files because I don't do very much work throughout the stream. There's some hearts of positivity. Yeah, I saw those. So overkill. I don't really know what it's overkill of. For me, it's just it helps me verify that like what I have pushed. It's like I'm completing the full cycle. So I just have a script. I just take the latest changes, merge it, do a push. Don't need a clone. Everyone, just do a comment. This way, every single day I'm pushing the latest to production to make it available, and then I can also I could just clone it and verify. I mean, it's I like doing it just because it that way I'm verifying that the public facing code actually works every day, because it's like I mean, eventually I may do it differently, but anyway, you are actually mentioning something about refactoring tools. I'm just for this project, I just recently started using IntelliJ, so I actually don't know. Is there like a specific? Are there specific codes? I remember this refactor thing for like a renaming a variable or something. But I've never really used these tools much. Why don't you build an FTP server? Why would I? So have you heard of a little known app called NeoVim? I have. I don't have time to experiment with all these things. I try to just forget about everything else and focus myopically on the thing that I need to get done, which is the next release of this block mining game. Don't need to clone. You can do a branch. Yeah, I mean, I have worked on in like a multi-user environments where you have to do like branching and merging and rebasing and feature branches and stuff like that. But I mean, honestly, for this, I think it's easier to not do branching. Uses Vim. I will, if I have time. Like it takes time to screw around with all this stuff, and I have between my daily stream, like I don't really have time. I don't have time to mess around with it now, and throughout the day I don't have time to mess around with this, and then I got to do taxes and. Yeah, NeoVim. I gotta try NeoVim. Gotta try out what is it, Cloud. The AI tools. Got to make more videos. Got to do a billion things. Robert, do you not use feature branches? I do if I'm working like at a company with other people. I would. For this project, I have not. I mean, I'm the only one working on it, so I just commit and push to main every time. But if I have to work with other people, then. And you have like, a QA and dev and stuff, you have to be way more clean about how you actually contribute and work with others. So you need to read Refactoring by Robert Fowler. Is that about like IntelliJ or specifically? Like obviously this is terrible. I know that needs to be refactored, but that was one of the things that I was going to do tonight, but I don't know if I'll even get a chance to do that tonight. That chat is so lively. Renaming more variable method, extract to method. All very cool. What are you doing, bro? I am currently working on building a new data structure for my terminal-based block mining video game. Nope, refactoring shows you how you can clean up your code. So it's like the philosophy of refactoring, or is it specifically about the IntelliJ tools for refactoring? I used an FTP server to save my videos. Keep my OS library. You need to hire Luigi as your manager. Why? How many do you get during live broadcasts on YT? How much? Like super chats? Right now there's $16.42 Canadian in super chat revenue. Liu Hiroyama says, "Good morning. Will we be safe from domination of the world?" For today, I guess it'll take a while for the full world domination plan. Extract method, for example, means move code function. So IntelliJ does or includes in their feature. Oh, okay. Is it tech? Yeah, I mean, like the word refactor is like something I learned, and probably even before I came to university. But I was just curious if like what like I had always thought back when I tried writing my own compiler, I thought it would be interesting to have like really intelligent tools that could it would just like actually analyze the source tree and then find patterns in the source tree, and then like so you could basically automate the process of refactoring just based on like tokens and stuff. Need to go. Feel like I partially derailed you. There's a ton of stuff you could do. I'll try to donate soon. Hopefully it helps either way. Pleasure to interact with you. Thanks for the kind words. Yoshikaga knows what he's talking about. Java's better. C#, best design language in the world. Python is second best. Have a good night. I need to refactor a CPP code to work. Pray for me. Does it involve templates? All right. Actually, let's try one of those things. So, refactor. Extract method. That's kind of a useful thing. Yeah, that is an interesting tip. This is basically one of the things I was thinking about doing. to the refactor in one for loop. So hard to explain. Yeah, I mean, my pattern for refactoring is just look for repetition. There's also, I also am going to need to make this more complicated, because right now this works in 2 dimensions, but I have to generalize this to 3 dimensions. And also this is not optimized. So some of these are actually covering the same region more than once. So I think there is there's technically a faster version of this that would involve 6 for loops for the 2-dimensional version. It does involves templates and function macros. The guy who wrote it also didn't document anything. Nice. You can make it super fast. Yeah, I don't know if I'll actually go all the way, but we'll see. It's probably yeah. It's also like you have to think about cache locality and stuff too, and it's we'll see. I'll just try to get it as long as I can get it correct. Then I can, because right now I don't really have the final version of the unit test for it. But then once it does the thing I want, then I can write test cases for it, and then I can go crazy on the refactor. So if I derailed you, no worries. That's what the chat's for. I guess if I really want to be productive, I just turn off the stream. All right. I don't want that argument to be there. Need some line wrapping. This should be easy to do. I don't know, I kind of like my long lines. I think I need more surface, but I need to figure out how to not blow the breakers. That'll cost a lot of hydro. Yeah, you can get some solar panels, but then you gotta have, you gotta figure out how to smooth out the load. You know, you need like a battery system and charge controllers. So it seems to basically work. Still going. See, this is why I don't like IDs. I clicked stop. It's still going. Now, can I do the same function here? I think I can. Just use PS kill. I could, but it's then I have to like find the PID of the child process, and I didn't plan on doing that when we move. Could I add solar power to each side? Yeah, I wouldn't mind fooling around with some solar stuff. That'd be kind of fun, but too many fun engineering things to waste time on. So I think this is also this here is also a candidate for refactoring. So I think that's. Let's see, did I write the same piece of code? It's not exactly the same. Start X. Let's test if that worked. Oh, it broke everything. It's not right. that's why. Nope, still broken. Not a waste if you got a use case. I feel like solar would be something World Dominatrix would like. I kind of thought that racist guy from a few streams ago would make another account. Glad he didn't, because we don't need that here. Yeah, having to ban people is annoying because people can just like make new accounts. So my first use of the refactor JUnit refactor tool, I'm actually not a fan of that tool. I find it better to refactor things by hand. It's when I use the tool, I like forget what I'm doing. I love your React stock picker app. Oh wow, that's old. That was like back when I first started my software consulting business. That was like one of the first things in 2014. That was one of the first things I did to like try and impress people and get contracts. How long did it take you to make that? Your React.js file is the longest one I've seen. Holy. Yeah, I think that was that was so long ago. What's the date on it? Is it must be like 2015 or maybe 2014. I think I spent like maybe a day or something on it, or like a few, it was less than a week for sure. I think back then, that was before like that was back when I didn't really even think of using JSX. I thought that was going to be like an anti-pattern and no one would use JSX. But little did I know it was. What version of React is it using? I think that was like one of the first alpha versions or something, if I remember correctly. It's very easy. There's a cooldown period, as I recall. I was meaning to ask about your tank bot thing. Oh, the robot tank project? Robot tank? Yeah, that was another. I went through a period of just trying out Kickstarter projects, so I decided to I thought like maybe doing some embedded hardware stuff, there might be, if I could just find an, like if it was possible to just make a Kickstarter pitch, like a guide on how to do a robot tank thing and write some software for it or something. If I could get like a bunch of people to give me $5 for making something like that. I thought it was something that might be interested in, but there was no interest. See, this is the reason why I do commit frequently with those crappy commit messages. So I can just do this, and I'm not really losing much. Yeah, I've been trying to learn IntelliJ, but it's just it's not I'm too accustomed to doing everything in Vim. Let's see. So that is similar to my other code down here. So it looks like old school. Yeah, it's too much work to learn all these new tools. And the problem is, like, when I learn them, nobody will be using them again in a couple of years. Like, people will move on to something else. But all the knowledge I've spent learning in Vim is still relevant. Every developer I read about, by the way, uses Emacs. Oh, really? It's a commonality among great developers. Are you starting a war between Emacs and Vim followers? They like to hack their own environments. But these days, I think VS Code allows you to do a lot of these things as well. Yeah, I've never used VS Code. It's been, it's on the to-do list to try it out. Vim has great devs too. I prefer Vim. There's less like random rote memorization. Let me try something here. Just on a whim. Actually, first, let's see, does my code even work? I heard Emacs is a great operating system. I've used Emacs like for a total of like 5 or 10 minutes. But the random memorization of key combinations is just too strange for me. Vim is a lot more like a grammar, I find. And honestly, there's a lot of features in Vim, and I just kind of settled on a few. that I commonly use. In fact, over time I've like forgotten a lot. Actually knew more Vim commands back around when I was first starting. All right, let's look at the similarity of that piece of code with this piece of code. So that would be the same if the circular offset value is 0, then I think that should be the same. Now the other thing I want to know is, could this be the same? I wrote that a more crazy way, but let's just see if that's the same. Nope. Hi, Robert Liter Software. How's it going? I remember when GitHub released their Atom editor with great fanfare, but it was so bloated and slow, no one used it. I tried to use it, and that's one of those other editors where I'm like, I should be open-minded and try new things. And then I tried it, and it was a mistake. So I'll never, ever try new things ever again. I know enough Vim to get in trouble. That's easy. You just have to open Vim. Just got back from an intense show. Neat. Atom team is now undoing their mistake with a Z editor. Vim's not as difficult as people say. It's not too bad. There's kind of like a pattern you can learn to become productive. There's like a million different commands and stuff and niche things that I personally don't use. My usage of Vim is I never ever use plugins. VS Code plugins make using programming language servers so nice and easy. That is the one thing I miss in terminal editors. Ever tried using Cursor or an LLM to help you out? I have a couple times, and they've the main issue I've always had is like finding a context that actually integrates with the code. I know that it kind of exists now, but I've never had the spare time to like screw around with these things, and I've figured out like a lot of them you have to sign up for an API or something. Honestly, I don't have enough time to experiment with all the new AI tools. I did try, what was it? Copilot. I tried just asking GitHub some questions about my repo, and there was a couple times where it was like, huh, that's okay. I don't know if I had a better like integration with the AI, but even the first few times I've used it, it would like, the first time I used Copilot on GitHub, it like, there were all these internal server errors and stuff, and setting up LSP is very simple though. If you paste that for loop into, let's say, DeepSeek, let's get a refactor. For you with DeepSync turned on, it'll show you how to do it. Is it correct though? If you don't have time for it, you don't have any chance of landing a job soon. Well, I'm not interested in going back into the regular workforce. I'd rather try NeoVim with LSP. Yeah, I mean, I tried, like, I have tried them a little bit, and they're really terrible. Like, there's this AI chat. I thought about using this, and I was going to sign up for it and stuff. I was actually thinking like, maybe I should actually pay for this. And then I read the reviews, and it was just like absolutely horrendously terrible, and it all had 1 stars. So I just didn't bother using it. Or no, I watched a YouTube review of someone using this, and they said it was terrible. And then I thought like, okay, so I'll get a plugin for what is it? The Microsoft one, Copilot, and they said it was like an old version of Copilot, and it was really terrible, and so I just didn't even bother. I also want to like learn. I just want to like actually read through the terms of service and stuff. And I don't have time to screw around with this right now. DeepSync is good at actually thinking through a problem. It's making great progress at being a superhuman dev. Not just DeepSeek, Gemini, and ChatGPT. What about like having like subtle bugs and stuff? Because like with the like the code that I have here, this was a result of like, so I wrote the unit tests, and then I rewrote this a bunch of times to like I'd basically just keep stepping through and thinking like, okay, what does this have to be? In order to make this correct, how do I write the code? And so the code is kind of verbose. But like with all these, I got some negatives. Like this, if I sat down and think about this, I can probably simplify this. Or even like represent it with different variables. Because with in the context of, like you can reformulate a lot of these expressions. Like one of the first things I did to refactor this was eliminate some of the variables I had, because I didn't need quite as many. I had like a start thing and an end thing, and I was able to collapse them into one variable. JetBrains 1 is terrible. I want to write the code. I do not want to review LLM slop. Why are they only trying to do the fun part with AI? Bro did not read my message. I guess maybe I didn't. Chat is lively tonight. Use cursor. That one is terrible as well. But if you want to write tests, it does a great job. If you want a programming assistant, DeepSeek is the closest you'll get to having one. I think it's usually accidental or to avoid saying negative things. Oh, if I don't read stuff? Sometimes I skip. Mostly, some people post like irrelevant stuff. I'm just like, it's too much work. You can't use self-host. I would use it more if I could self-host it too. Ask DeepSeek how to get rid of the repetition. He also completely misinterpreted the message. Me? Did I misinterpreted one of your messages? It'll produce 100% workable code if you use it in deep think mode. It's trained on lots of human thinking data. Sorry, not affiliated with them. Yoshikaka, I mean, you can clarify, but we're just chatters. I'm kind of confused about it. Was there a chat message that I missed or something? Just to make sure anyone thinks I am. Yes, you can self-host. It was around 128 gigs of RAM. That's more than I have. I know someone who uses Cursor, and the Cursor keeps adding React code in their Vue project. Nice. Don't recommend anyone using AI-based code editor. I know some people are really, really into it. I've yet to take it seriously yet, because every time I'm like, oh, people keep raving about this. So then I look up like the latest YouTube review of a vibe coding session, and it just looks like it's more pain than. Because a lot of the progress I make on code is I wrote the code and I understand it because I wrote it. It came from my mind. So like I wrote this and I know where all these variables come from. But if I start using AI coding, I'm just like, I'm in the desert without a map. Cursor is mostly terrible. DeepSeek way better. Golang has to be the best language for AI because the formatting's enforced, like OFMT in most places. There's as few keywords as possible. I said to use NeoVim with LSP, stuff that autocomplete code based on types. It's not AI. Yeah, that is on my that is something I want to do regardless of the AI thing. It's on my to-do list, but I think I think I googled this, and then I have to like install some. I have to install some plugin or something. I personally I don't like. Other people are really okay with just like downloading a random GitHub thing and running it. But I am pretty wary about running like random repo, even if they have like thousands of stars or something. I'm just like, I don't know what's in this. But if I look around and I see there's like, a standard thing that a lot of people are using, then I'll kind of trust it a bit more. I think the last time I looked into it, man, maybe it was a couple of years ago. I looked into some kind of language server for Vim. And there was nothing. Actually, I don't even know how old NeoVim is. NeoVim is like invented after my time. DeepThink lets you view the GPT model is thinking as it produces the code. I read what it thinks, and honestly, it's usually helpful when it comes to producing code. It can catch up. Putting the same, it's mental model for the code. We are basically the spectrum of AI views: no, meh, and hype. I'm actually really, really tired of hearing about it. I'm same as Robert. Is that same for being wary of running random, untrusted code? Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised with like all the npm garbage and stuff like that. I'm surprised people don't get compromised more. LSP server for NeoVim at least uses node package. LSP has a protocol developed initially by VS Code. It's now fully open source. Okay. Yeah, I'll get there eventually. But like I've said before, it's a compromise between like trying new things and finishing the existing things that I'm working on. So I just tried swapping. This into here, and it's not the same. I'll have to sit down and think about this later to figure out if I can generalize that. It's hard to refactor code while reading chat. Part of the reason why I never got hacked. That's good. Always be wary of running a random weird code that people recommend to you on GitHub. Idea is one thing, not as important or pressing. I think it's more learning a new programming language. Your good job is based on what languages you know, not what IDE you use. Yeah, I think that's true. If you're in the job market looking for a job. All right. I'm heading out. Sam is still #1 somehow. YouTube really likes Sam. He's a dedicated super chatter, and also YouTube recommended for him. YouTube recommended for him to super chat again, so I think it's playing favoritism. Whatever the AI can do to manipulate people into spending money. The chosen one. Yeah. A lot of times when I refactor stuff, I'll start by I'll actually introduce things that are, I'll introduce new repetition. I'll make it more repetitive so that I can like more easily collapse it. Actually, let's do this first. So let's see if that works. He who pulls the calzone from the oven is the chosen one. Can't wait to get a calzone this weekend. That'll be day 58. Oh yeah, it's Thursday tomorrow. Can you imagine that is what the universe's language is written in? What the universe is like? Which language though? Java? I don't know, it could be. It's not really finished. It'll be well, I have to refactor it a bit, and then I have to simplify it because I need to add. Right now it works in 2 dimensions. I have to extend it to 3 dimensions, and that's going to make it even more messy. Okay, that works. This also works. It doesn't crash. I'll give you a hint. There's a lot of strong evidence it's a functional language. It's also most likely 11D, according to string theorists. String theorists are full of it. That's just nonsense. Okay, now will this crash? Long live loop quantum gravity. See, the problem is we need to build a bigger collider. If we could just build an even bigger collider, then we could look for more exotic particles. Right, that should. I need a video on how to make a collider. There are some videos. If you check the Applied Science YouTube channel, he has I think he has a video on how to make a basic collider. Luigi's gone. Yep. So much bad software today. I think I'm going to build a DeepSeek server and remove the censorship. Honestly, it's going to be, the future is going to be interesting because every government is going to build their own, like, censored AI. Like, China's going to have, like, it's going to be interesting in an automated way. It'll be interesting to ask our AI to probe, like, China's AI to see like what to do, like to automate discovering the diff of what's between the AIs. So we'll be able to ask, like, ChatGPT, what things do you know about that China's AI doesn't tell us? But then you can also ask the same thing to China's AI. And so there's going to be a massive, like, land rush to try and, like, censor, you know, make AI available to people, but, like, censor it for the harmful stuff that we can't have. But then you can, like, like, I mean, there's a concept, there's a really powerful concept I think that people haven't really thought a lot about, which is, like, there's a type of like SQL injection attack where you can basically, you can use, like, a sorting function or something, or, like, I don't know, there's a specific name for this type of attack, but you can basically exfiltrate data from, I think if you can inject like a sort condition, if you can inject, like, the sort order or something, you can basically do, like, a binary thing, like a binary search almost, where you exfiltrate data one bit at a time, and you can do basically the same thing with AI. So you don't need to actually steal the data. You could just, like, you could take, like, you know, 100 samples of a cat, like an AI generated image of a cat, and then ask the opposing AI, is this a cat or not? Or, like, can you tell me stuff about this? And then based on that, based on the labels, you can use the labels that the other AI generates. If the other AI is better, you can then train on that. And so all the AIs could just have an automated function that tests on, like, you know, some, like, it could even be like 1,000 unique, really good, like, edge cases that the AI maybe isn't good at, but the opposing, your competitor's AI is good at those. So you can just ask about those cases and then add that to your training set. ChatGPT is suing DeepSeek for copying its training data. They literally use ChatGPT for training data and produces censored results. I'm a computer science by degree and a drone pilot by license. It scares me how the intersection of those things could be our doom. Yeah. I don't know if you see all the videos of, like, drone warfare. I think I read a post about someone who actually, like, did some research on like what the survival rate is. Like, they researched all those, like, deep Telegram videos of drones chasing down FPV drones chasing down soldiers, and the kill rate was like 96% or something in an open field. And he said the only thing that ended up helping was if there was smoke present. That was made survival like 66% or something. If you ask it about Taiwan, it won't give you the correct answer. It's kind of what DeepSeek did for part of his training. DeepCoder thought the first iteration. That was great work. Secret sauce is that the model is really the training data. Lots of chain of thought reasoning. Yeah, it's actually, it's interesting how we're at a point where you can actually get like meaningfully good results that are actually bound by like energy consumption. Like if you just dump thousands of dollars of energy at it, and use like a giant cluster, then you can actually get meaningfully better results. So we're about to waste a ton of energy on generating nonsense images. Wish you could buy old military drones. It's probably some kind of I don't know, it's probably some legal I don't know, you might be able to buy them. Probably the issue would be flying them. I think you need for drones over a certain size and of a certain class, you need to have a call sign, and then you gotta get like a license and stuff. I think you get put on a list for saying that. Yeah, probably. Honestly, probably. It probably should be on a list if you want to buy military drones. Okay, we're making progress generalizing this. So last time I did this, I think it crashed. Now will this crash? I would like to purchase a military generator at auction, but woe is me, they're too expensive. I will have to run civilian, unleaded BS. Yep, it's unfortunate. All that garbage civilian equipment. Heating up in the Middle East, I have 4 live streams up watching World War III. Maybe you can use this as an opportunity to take over the world while everyone is occupied on other fronts. Yeah, has there been a lot of change today? I know I've been following like a lot of the updates, and I know the first couple of nights, like it did seem pretty crazy, but it seems like in the last like within a couple of days, I heard that Israel has air supremacy over Iran now, which is like a pretty big deal. I figured it would maybe like if they have total control over the air, then it seems like game over at that point. What are you making? I'm working on a terminal-based video game where you can simulate the process of mining blocks of iron ore. So I'll run that and boot it up. So here's what the game looks like. You can just spam the M key to mine blocks, and then you wander around this infinite procedurally generated universe. And this is pretty much all of it. There's not a lot more gameplay than that. I've been recently working on the user interface to put in a help menu and to make it so you can like select between frames, so you can select inventory items now. That's a new feature. yeah, that's the game I'm working on. Just working on some test cases tonight. Got censored. Tel Aviv was hit heavy. Iron Dome. Oh, okay. Interesting. So I guess Iran is not out of the picture. I saw earlier today, it kind of looked like they were getting desperate. I saw that they had launched one of these like really unique ballistic missiles they've never launched before, and then it got shot down. So I was like, oh, okay, there's just like one last ditch attempt to like launch a ballistic missile, and it gets shot down. But I guess I'll be up late tonight reading up on the news. Honestly, I shouldn't waste time reading about this, but like it is crazy historic things that actually affect, like it is on the other side of the world, but if World War III is coming, I should probably know about it. They hit Mossad HQ, but media is not allowed to report. It's on strategic targets. You know, speaking of the AI stuff that we were talking about before, I've been browsing Twitter a bunch and seeing a lot of the missiles and stuff like that. And AI is getting good enough now that like I legitimately, I'm scrolling through and I see stuff and I'm like, oh wow, that's crazy that happened. And in the comments, I'll see that people are saying it's AI. I actually saw there was one image of it said that they hit the Mossad HQ, and there was an image of like it said Mossad on it, and at first glance I was like, oh wow, that is kind of crazy that they hit. It makes sense that they would target that. And then I went down to the comments, and they're like they spelled the word Mossad wrong, and I was like, oh, that does make sense that this is just like fake AI. And there's a few other ones where Iran was posting of like these damaged skyscrapers and stuff, and I thought the smoke looked a little bit weird. And then then I saw the label on it that's like, this is AI. So AI it is really crazy how good AI is getting. So it's hard to really know what's actually real. But then there's also the fog of war, because I know they don't want to report that stuff. It's a crazy world we live in. The Predator is the drone I want. Autistic sonar. That's again along the lines of things where I think, should I ban you? Because it's a bit. I got to draw a line somewhere. And if it's fun to talk about hypotheticals, but eventually, if I let too many people talk about stuff like that, there's I'll probably end up at some ban list, or the YouTube algorithm will at some point kick in and restrict the stream, or so as long as we're talking about hypothetical, not serious discussions. There's definitely a lot of AI, but real stuff's bad enough. Watching live streams from Associated Press. Don't think that's AI. Yeah, I guess I'll check it out after the stream. Gatorade crapping drone wouldn't be cool. I don't know what that means. A Gatorade, like one that just drops Gatorade. It'd be fun to play around with that stuff, but that's probably quite expensive. Remote control servo motor on our DIY drone is easy. Plenty of tutorials on how to build decent sized drones. Yeah, I mean in a way that's also concerning, in that, like, at some point the ability to build sophisticated weapons will become so easy. Like you could just ask an AI something like, how do I buy things on eBay that I can use to make dangerous weapons? And then the government will ban everything. I'll have to get your real ID tied to everything. Is asbestos in the game? Not at the moment. Is there a CAS number for asbestos? That is an option for something I could add. Well, I'm not getting. I got a little bit of work done tonight. This was a very chaotic interaction with chat tonight. I will probably call it a night and then check up on the news to see if World War III has in fact started. Asbestos, cast number 1332. Okay. Technically, my ID is tied to YouTube. It has to be if I plan on getting paid in the future. Okay, for monetization. Yep, in the future. I mean, when AI takes over, I kind of think that's the most likely outcome. It's like, unless you have an account, there's going to be no point in anonymous accounts in the future, because they'll all just be like bots that are spamming things like just unintelligible nonsense 24/7. AP live streams about 10 minutes ago. New attack incoming. Wow. Well, I guess I better I'll call it a night. Anyway, see you guys tomorrow, assuming that the world hasn't ended by then. Later.